It's time to get some power. We're going to take the water from here, we're going to send it down the hill through some pipe to a turbine as low as we can get it. And there we go, simple as that. Power. We've got a couple of really great weather days. It's cold, but there's sun for most of this week. So what I've done, or I'm doing at the minute, is bringing the pipe up to halfway up the hill, and my plan is to uncoil it over the next few days so that it has a chance to settle. We're at the top of about halfway up our plot. There's a nice drop down here, so it's my plan to uncoil it, run it down here and leave it there for a couple of days so that it's got a chance to lay flat. Otherwise it kind of wants to stay coiled as it is at the minute. I've brought with me some rebar, concrete reinforcing bars, and a mallet. What I'm going to do is I've drilled a hole in the end of the pipe here. I'm going to hammer that rod through the hole. I'm going to uncoil it, and then at the other end I'm going to hammer another length of it in so that we can sort of pin it. And if I can't pull it tight enough with my hands, what I'm going to do is tie a string around the back, tie that around the back of the quad bike, and then pull it so that hopefully we don't have to wait forever for these to straighten out. Okay, so what have we got here? We have a head height of 70 meters. We have a pipe length of 250 meters or just less than. We have 2 water sources. We're running 40 millimeter pipe from each water source down to a turbine, which is a 24 to 48 volt turbo turbine. And then we have 6 millimeter 3-core cable, armoured cable running from there to an AC-DC rectifier so that we can turn the AC power from the generator to DC power for the inverters. This is the turbine. How does it work? So we have water coming in here and water coming in here. This is the alternator or generator that spins, and maybe you can see in those bits there, you can see the copper coils. There's magnets in here. I can kind of feel it like clicking from point to point. Underneath, sometimes these are called Pelton wheels, but I don't think this is actually in the design of a Pelton wheel. This is actually a Turgo wheel, I think. You see these spiky bits there. If I undo these nozzles, that's how you change the jet from the water. So the water comes through here, gets squeezed out of this tiny little hole, and gets sprayed in here at really high pressure. That spins that, and that produces power. Got this box here which takes the power from the generator up to where the batteries are, and there we go. It's fairly simple, really. So this is the box that we've made for the turbine. It's a fairly temporary box, and I've made it temporary because I assume I'm going to have to come back and remake this at some point. I'm not expecting this to last forever. In fact, the idea is to make this out of an earth, to make a new one of these with earth bags to try and keep the sound in, but I don't know how well this is going to work, so I made something temporary, and because it's made out of OSB, I painted it in the tanking solution for showers. So if there's any leaks, we know that it's at least not going to rot away within a matter of minutes. Down through that hole, you can see the stream, or if you can't there, you can see it there. So the idea is the turbine goes on that square there, the water comes out the bottom, and I've done a much better job at sealing the underneath of here than I have the top. And then that runs straight back into the stream, which goes down to the river there. And then we've got our two pipes here, well, the other one's just there. They come in on the left and the right. Power comes in as well, and this is really just to keep the animals out and the water off the top of the turbine. So it's a temporary fix, but it took me less than an hour to make, so it's good for now. Let's go over these inlets. So they are just a piece of 110mm soil pipe, underground pipe, cut it into well, I measured it, it's 4 arms length, happens to be about the size that'll fit in there. I drilled a load of holes, and I was really pleased I managed to find my step drill because that made the job a lot easier. I've put some blanking plate, well, one blanking plate on that end, and I've put a 40mm inlet that side, and then this is one I've made already because we've got 2 inlets. I've just wrapped it in some mosquito net, some zip ties to keep it in place, and it's my hope that that's going to work. A lot of this is, I think, version 1, Mark 1. I'm sure there's going to be things that need to be fixed, but the price of these 2, maybe £20, and I might be being a bit generous with that. Coanda screens are the best, but one Coanda screen is £1,000 by the time you get it here, because they're quite difficult to find. And the whole system here, including the pipework and the turbine and this, is less than one Coanda screen. So I'm not spending 2 grand on these when this is 20 quid. So yes, I'll have to come and unblock it, but I mean, I don't mind a trip up to the top of the hill every now and again. So we're going to put these in. We'll see how they perform, and who knows, maybe 20 quid might be worth it. Super excited about this moment. I've just come down the hill and there's water gushing out of one of the vent pipes, which is good because it means the water's coming down, but I've got the power off, so I don't have anything live going to the workshop at the minute, but I'm going to turn the valve on, and hopefully, if everything works, this should just spin. There's going to be some air. Okay, we've already got lots of water leaking out the bottom here, so that needs to be sealed. I don't want it to be free running for long because you can overspin it, so that's really good. Gonna have to do something about the water spraying all over the floor, but excellent. Okay, so we've got power. First time I tried it, it wasn't pulling anything. It wouldn't start the, we're running from an EcoFlow battery bank for now, and it wouldn't pull any power. It would spin and produce power, but as soon as I put it under load, tried to charge the batteries, it would just slow down so much it didn't produce anything. So we're producing up to 250 watts, which is good because there's a lot of problems that we need to fix, which means there's more power in it. It's fluctuating a little bit. So great, we've got, I'll give you the numbers, but I'm not really sure. Because they fluctuate and I'm checking multiple bits at multiple times, it's hard to see how they relate, but it's anywhere between 50 and 100 volts. It's anywhere between 100 to 150 watts, and anywhere between 25 psi to 50 psi on one of the nozzles. I haven't got the second psi gauge fitted, so, and that nozzle is the one that's leaking or pulling air in, so I'm hoping the pressure of the other one is a little bit better. So those are the numbers. Glad I managed to get it working for this go. I've got to turn it off now before it overspins. Alas, the weather has changed. Great for power, bad for working outdoors and keeping my tools dry. But we are working. We have some power, although we're down quite a lot. We've got to replace the 2 connectors here because they are, I'll show you this now while it's loud. We've got to replace the 2 connectors left and right because they're not holding and they're leaking. We are pulling air on one of the lines, and I've got to run one of the other pipes, I think, a slightly different way because it's got a very steep bit, and I think that might be causing some air bubbles as well as the inlet. I think I need to turn down the stopcock up there so we're not pulling quite so much through because there's not enough water on one side. So it's working. I think what I'll do is I'll film a second one of these because it's going to be quite a long time me fitting and refitting these connectors and getting it all working. We definitely should be pulling more power than we are. So yeah, there we go. I think we're going to do a second one of this, although it won't be as long because it'll be more of an update on how it's going now. So if you're interested in seeing how it goes once I've fitted the new bits and hopefully fixed all the problems, see how much power we can really get, come join us. It'd be nice to see you there. I'll see you in the next one.